Back to school is right around the corner, so let me show you how easy it is to create one of our number 2 pencil balloon columns. Our kit includes all the balloons that you need to create a 7-foot tall pencil that is going to wow everybody when they see it. People love little balloon sculptures like this. I'm going to be showing you 2 different ways to assemble this today. One is going to be with a balloon stand similar to this, and one is going to be without a stand at all, where it's just freestanding on its own. So let's get started and let me show you exactly how to put this together. My favorite thing about this balloon column is that anybody can create this, whether you have a high skill level or not, and whether you have professional balloon tools or not. You really can create this with whatever you have and whatever level you are at. There's going to be spares of every color just in case something happens while you are working on your balloon column. For this column, we are going to be doing 2 rows of our pink, 2 rows of our chrome silver, 7 rows of our amber, 2 rows of our white sand, and technically 2 rows of our black, but it's really just 1 row with 1 extra one on top. To get the right look, it's important that your balloons are the same size. They need to look uniform. Most of your column is going to be all the exact same size, so your silver, your pink, and your amber are all going to be about this size. I like to size mine to a 9-inch. You don't have to do a 9-inch, just pick a size and stick with it. There are a few ways that you can make sure these are all the same size. You can use a digital sizer like I have here. You can use a manual sizer. You can get 2 objects, put them next to each other, and pull your balloon through, but you need to make sure both objects are weighted down so that it doesn't move out like that when you are sizing them. Or you can simply eyeball it. Now, if you're going to eyeball your balloons, blow your first one up and tie it off, and then use that one to size the rest of them. All you need to do is put them out in front of you and let the air out of this one until it looks about the same. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you do need it to be pretty close. You want to make sure that you have the first one that you are sizing all of the rest to. Otherwise, it might slowly get smaller and smaller. So see how this is a little bit off? Now, if I was sizing this one, I would go smaller, and then maybe the next one would be even smaller than that. So stick with the first one, size everything else to that. If you choose to do the freestanding option that does not have a stand inside, it is much more important for your balloons to be the same size because they need to stack nicely on top of each other. So if you're going to go that route, use an actual sizer. Find them cheap for like $15 on Amazon. Our entire column is going to be made of quads, except for the very top one. It's going to be a quad with 1 balloon on top. I'll show you that when we get there. The way that you create a quad is by inflating 2 balloons. Once you inflate these balloons, make sure you round them out. You don't want to let any air out because you need them to be the same size. So just press them against yourself or press them against the floor until they get that nice round look to them. Now we're going to cross our arms, and you're going to take one of the tails, go around a balloon, and then tie a knot. And that creates a pair. Now we're going to take 2 pairs, twist these together, and that creates our quad. Now you're just going to repeat this for all your silver, all your pink, and all of your amber. Now we still have 2 more colors. We have our cream and we have our black. And these are where they're going to start tapering down in size. When you get to your first quad of your cream color, you're going to go down about halfway. So if you're eyeballing this, just take a look at it. You just want it to get slowly smaller. We got a little smaller here, a little bit smaller again, and then the smallest with our black topper. You will also have 1 more black for the very top, but we will add that at the end. So when using a stand like this, it is very easy. All you are going to do is take your balloons, you're going to wrap it around the base, and then twist it on and press it down. So up close, that looks like this. You're gonna take it and place the pole between 2 balloons, take those 2 balloons, wrap one around the other, and just softly push it together like that. And I'm going to repeat the process with all of the rest of the colors of the quads until I get to that very last black one at the very top. For my last black balloon, that little topper, all I'm going to do is find one of the tails and use this tail, and I'm just going to tie the 2 of them together. And that's going to give me that little point on the end. Now, if you don't have a stand of any type, or you just prefer to do a freestanding option, this is how we're going to do that. You're going to take your pink balloons, you're gonna place one on the ground, you're gonna take the other one and place it right on top, and we are going to fold this together. What that means is you're going to push the top one down while pulling the bottom ones up. We're basically just flipping these around. So your top layer will now be your bottom, and your bottom layer will now be your top. That is going to create a little pocket here for us so that we can take our water weight and place it inside. If we're doing the frameless option, you can take 2 of your spare balloons that come in your pack. You're going to double stuff these, and then you are going to fill this up with water. Now you can take this to a faucet, or I'm going to use a water bottle this time because I am in our warehouse and we don't have a faucet. So I'm simply going to take both of the necks, put it over my water bottle, turn it over and squeeze the water in. And you only need to tie the inside one, and you're gonna let that one drop down into your balloon. So the water weight we made earlier, remember we dropped that down inside, so now we're going to take the tail of the outside balloon, we're going to wrap it around both of these quads, both rows, and then we are going to tie it on itself on the bottom. Here's what that's gonna look like when it is in this little nook. The nice thing is now everything sits flat. This water balloon is not going to be hitting the ground at all. For the rest of this balloon column, we are going to be tying the tails of each quad together. So you're going to take this quad and find a nice long tail. Not all tails are gonna be as long as the others, so find one that's nice and long for you. I'm gonna find a nice long tail on this silver quad. And we are going to tie them together. The way you tie these together is pretty much the same as when you just tied 2 balloons together. You just have quads instead. So instead of looking at these as quads, just look at them as a single balloon. So we are going to cross our arms. Of course, since it's a quad, you can't just go around one balloon. So you're gonna make your X like we did before. So here's your X. Take one and wrap it around the neck. So instead of going around the whole balloon, you're just going around the neck, and then tie a knot. So you have that, just kind of finagle your balloons around until they're sitting on top of each other. And we're going to continue to do that the whole way up. Now, if you want your balloons to be tighter, if you want a really tight connection, you can go up around your balloon as you're doing it. So you're gonna find your tail again, find your tail here, cross your arms, go around, cross your arms, go around the neck, and then I'm going to use my body to push that quad down. See how I flatten that out? I'm going to bring it up above that quad and tie it up here. That just gets me a little bit of a tighter connection. You don't have to do that. It feels a little bit nicer. Now, if your balloons get out of whack like this, it's not a problem. All you have to do is just kind of push them back into place. A lot of times you just need to take your balloons, push them in, and everything will get all centered back up again. I'm gonna go ahead and continue this method until I reach the top. Here's that neck tying method from one other angle. So here's my neck, here is another neck. Wrap it around one of the tails, and tie it off. Something else that can happen is when you are twisting these, sometimes your balloons will twist off one another. So let me show you what that looks like. Say you put this on and all of a sudden one of these came off. All you have to do is twist it right back on and continue on with your column. As your column gets taller, you can simply pick the bottom out and then lean it towards you in order to continue doing this neck tying method a little bit easier. That way you're not like up on top trying to tie it up higher and higher. Just kick it down and do it down and around. Once I have all my yellow on, I'm gonna go ahead and get my 2 white sand on. And my 5-inch black. And lastly, we have our little black that's going on the top. You are just going to tie this just like you were the rest of them, just a tail on it, only instead of a quad, you're putting a single, and it will get pushed up to the top and get the little tip of the pencil. Okay, like I said before, if something like this happens, don't worry. Just go through and get everything centered back out. go. This is the frameless option. We've got our water balloon down there, which is giving us the weight to let this stay standing and stable. Now, if you are going to go with the frame-free option, I would suggest having this sort of by a wall, just in case somebody bumps into it. It's not going to be as stable if you did have a weighted base on it. Also, if you are going to do the frame-free option, this needs to be an indoor option only, because it just doesn't have enough weight in case Mother Nature decides to be crazy and get the wind started. Now, if this option is a little too tall for the space you're in, all you need to do is take some of your rows of amber out and it will just shorten it down. So 1 or 2 rows is going to bring this down like a foot, foot and a half, in case you've got really low ceilings that you're working with. And that's it, guys. That's how easy it is to create this pencil with our number 2 pencil balloon column kit.